Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video today, I decided it would be a really nice idea to recap my first 8 weeks transitioning from employed life to self-employed life. I'm going to go over the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So the first thing that happened to me about 8 weeks ago was I found out the company that currently employs me are making cuts. They decided to cut a team of 8 down to a team of 6. This was a bit of a low point for me because I do enjoy my job. I have been thinking I need to change for a long time, but I do enjoy the job. I also knew that a couple of days later I had a surgery booked in that meant I was going to be off work for about 3 months. So that was a bit scary, but the way it played out actually really worked into my favour, and I'll go into that in a minute. So a couple of days went past, there was a lot of talk at work about the changes that were coming up, but then it was time for me to have my surgery. So I went in, it was quite a big surgery on my knee. Basically they were breaking my leg, straightening my leg, and then they were replacing my meniscus as well, which is the cartilage inside your knee. It all went well, but the recovery has been tough. But it has given me time to set up stuff like this. So about 2 weeks have gone past since I found out that my company were making cuts. I was currently bedridden, so I just had to do a lot of thinking. I kind of hatched a plan that I could use this situation to my advantage. And I decided it was time to fully back myself, change my career, and go from an employed person to a self-employed person. But at the time, I didn't know exactly what direction I wanted to go in, so I still had to figure that out. So obviously, because of my leg, I had a lot of time on my hands, but I couldn't actually do anything practical. So what I decided to do was go back through all of my previous jobs, all of my career history, and there's been a lot of jobs, a lot of random jobs. If you want to see, I made a video of it. If you want to see, I'll link it in one of these corners. And I decided to try and get a bit more direction of where I wanted to go with my self-employed life. Another week kind of passed at this point, and I kind of landed on the idea that I wanted to be a carpenter. I also decided in this time that I wanted to do YouTube. So the easy part of this journey was deciding what direction to go in. And as I found out, it got a lot harder after that. So the first thing I did was I analysed my finances. I took a deep dive into my finances, and the idea was to try and work out exactly how much I need to make in like the first 6 months. So I'm not looking about how much I could potentially earn. I'm looking at about the base level of what I need to earn to be able to kind of survive. But what this actually done was it just made me terrified. I made a video about it. I'll link it again in one of these corners. But yeah, that was a scary activity. But the beauty of that was, from being scared, it made me fully commit. And really, since that point, I've been a lot more focused and a lot more determined to make this work. So we're probably about 6 weeks in now at the moment. I decided to become a carpenter. I decided to take my job into my own hands and become self-employed. And I decided that I wanted to get the redundancy. My leg's beginning to feel a bit better, generally off the crutches. I still can't drive at this point, but I'm a lot more mobile around the house. Got a direction. I know where I'm heading. I kind of getting into the routine of making some videos. And then I got a little bit carried away, and I was in B&Q. And I decided to buy some clamps and some chisels just to make me feel a bit more like a carpenter. I made a silly little fun video. I'll link it up here again for you. But that was actually, like, although it was silly, it still made me feel good. A better step that I took towards making my business successful or more official was I signed myself up for a business account. Again, I made a silly little video. I'll link it in the corner. These are small steps, but what it's doing is it's confirming to me that I am doing this, and every step I'm taking is making it feel more real. Although I've not actually done any carpentry yet, I know that that's coming. So now we're about 8 weeks in, and I knew there was an interview at work. So I really wanted to get the redundancy, but my company weren't doing voluntary redundancy. So this was a bit of an issue for me because I kind of needed the redundancy payment so that I could survive a couple of months and actually try and get some clients in that sort of time. So the redundancy payment is what was going to give me the buffer into becoming self-employed. So I really needed to get that redundancy payment. So I had an interview coming up. The company basically said to me, there's no voluntary redundancy. You have to do an interview, and then who gets made redundant will be decided on the interviews. So anyway, I had my interview And I don't know if this is naughty or not, but basically I undersold myself in the interview is probably a nice way of putting it. I answered all the questions reasonably well, but very briefly, and kind of I didn't expand on my answers and that sort of stuff. So it wasn't obvious what I was doing, but I was trying to do it enough that the rest of my team would get hired and I would get the redundancy. Yeah, I don't know if that's naughty. I don't know if that's just getting what you want. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Leave a message in the comments if you have a strong opinion on that. But anyway, I'd done this interview and now, so this is, we're pretty much up to today. So the results of the interview came out 2 days ago. And I was going to find out if I was made redundant or not. And that would have had a big impact on sort of the direction I took moving forwards. To cut a long story short, I did get made redundant. I recorded the meeting. So if you want to see the moment where I get made redundant, I'll link it in one of these corners. But yeah, my boss was really nice about it. It was a good meeting. It was fair. It was nice. And yeah, I got the result I wanted, which is great. But again, again, it made me feel so scared and so nervous because it was just one of them. It was just another step that made it feel even more real. And it was like, I can't back out of this now. This is happening. This is official. I have to just crack on and make it work. Cool. So hopefully if you're following along with this journey, that video helped sort of understand where I started at and where I am at now. In the next video, I'm going to go over the targets that I set myself for this month and see whether I hit them or not. I'm also going to set targets for the next month. So yeah, once I've made that video, I'll link it here, or is it here? If you want to follow along with my journey, I'd really appreciate the subscribe. Perhaps you're thinking of changing to a self-employed life and you need some inspiration or motivation or even just some tips. My channel can hopefully provide that, and it would be great to have you in the journey with me as it's happening. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.